hands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Second Vice Chair, please take the roll. I'll read the fire thing while you're finding that. In case of fire, there are two ways to exit the chambers. To my left, you can exit through the council chamber doors, turn left, and walk down the flight of stairs and out of the building. Or perhaps the best way is to the rear of these chambers. In either case, once you're outside of the building, please walk a safe distance away from the building. Okay.
Chairman Charlie Dern.
Here.
Vice Chair Elizabeth Ballard. Here. Secretary Peter Falk. Second Vice Chair Kathleen Sarno. Here. Commissioner Lori Longi.
Here.
Commissioner Nick Lefakis. Commissioner Charlie Ladd.
Here.
Commissioner Ron Gregory.
Here.
Commissioner Alan Drynan.
Here.
Commissioner Dominic Alimo.
Here.
Commissioner Ron Gregory and Dominic Alimo will be sitting in for the absent commissioners. At this point, the chair would entertain a motion to take items out of business. At this point, to take applications to be received. I believe you might have on your desk a list. Because of some early comings in, and if we don't do them, you'd have nothing else to do tonight. And some of these people would like to get busy, and you do have the materials in your packets. So those that have starred, the chair would entertain a motion that they go on September 6th, and the rest we will appoint as we go down. But the motion would be at this point to take the items out of order and to do the applications to be received at this time.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to accept site plan review 1560, 1561.
No, please, you got to make the motion first is to take items out of order.
Take them out of order.
Just,
and put them on tonight, 9/6.
no, I'm sorry. The proper motion right now is to take items out of order, and it would be applications to be received.
Applications to be received. Okay. I'll make a motion.
Thank you. All in favor of taking the applications to be received out of order and do that at this time, so raise your hand. Aye. Against? Abstained? It's unanimous. Okay, now, the items to be received are those in front of you on the list. The chair would recommend that you do the star orders this evening.
So moved. Make a motion.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Again, it's I don't know if Nick is ready to vote, but we will be reverting to Ron Gregory.
Use Ron until I catch up.
Okay.
7 of us anyway.
Yep.
2, 3, 4,
No.
Hey,
7.
you need one alternate anyway.
You need one more.
Yeah, I know, but until he's ready.
Oh, okay.
Dominic is still voting until I can hear that he's ready to go.
Should be.
Okay, so items, the start items are the ones that we're going to take this evening at 9/6. All in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. They will be heard this evening. Now, you have SPR 1566.
We might as well start with the public hearings at the top also, just set the dates for hearings.
1326.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, 1326, I didn't,
Again, this is a fairly simple one. They're looking to close off part of their cul-de-sac with a chain. They've had some issues with people parking there because it involved an access. We submitted it over to the fire marshal and the traffic safety officer for comment. So I suggest a September 20th hearing date. Get that out of the way.
September 7th, okay.
September, or is it 20th? What's today, 6th? Yeah, 20th, yeah.
20th, okay.
20th is our next meeting.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Good eyesight. Okay,
Jose?
September 20th, fine.
Why doesn't the condo association deal with that? Why do we have to deal with that?
Well, because it's an amendment to their plans for their access. And I mean, the condo association already put it up. And I guess there was some concern by the fire marshal and all that, so.
They just put one
it tech-
across.
I mean,
It's part of the
it's
plans.
it's part of the plans that we approved for access, for emergency
We
access.
always approve fire breaks
Circulation
and
within the
so
condo,
forth.
so
Okay.
it's like I said, it's a very simple one, but still, nonetheless, it's a material change to their plans.
2767.
This is an outside patio. We have that parking item on their site plan review later on this evening, but they would also like to add an outside patio for serving food and alcohol at the restaurants.
That's not on tonight's plan, though.
No, that's not on tonight's plan, so the
Okay.
hearing date I suggested would be the 20th also.
Okay. 2768.
That's a zoning map change for the multifamily housing district off of Mayfield Drive, because it has to go to Krog and adjacent towns, and they have 35 days to respond. The suggested hearing date is October 18th
Okay.
for that.
Jose, and I don't know, I read in the paper something, maybe it was on the council, something about apartments. Is that what they're referring to, or is there some other thing in the hopper?
Pardon?
No, that's the
It's the
apartments.
apartments.
We talked about that
We
earlier.
did the rezoning just a few months ago.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Right, I think that was, they
Okay.
just reported on that.
Actually,
on
this
a-
is rezoning.
Well, I don't.
They might have reported that in the
wasn't
paper. I
thinking
was
of
on
apartments.
vacation.
Created the zone.
That's right. yeah.
Okay,
So,
I didn't know if
get the
that,
newspapers
if that
up.
was them or, okay. Okay, then the SPRs,
1566 is
Lily, huh?
a non-conforming use that's being rebuilt because of a fire.
Yep.
I guess because there's changes to the exterior appearance that are regulations that require site plan by the commission.
Put that on the 20th.
20th? Okay. We got SBR 124902. This is an addition to PTI Industries at Peerless Way. They've a very successful business there that's outgrowing its present building and wishes to add on.
Can we do them
I
on the
think everything's
20th?
pretty well in order for them. We've met with them, and
We can do them on the
and
20th.
I think the
too.
20th would be a good, it's something that could be easily taken care of. SPR 1567, you may recall that, well, I don't know how many were on the commission back then, but we did approve, when we approved Connecticut mulch on Mullen Road, not only did we approve the
is
parcel where they're
Tyler's
currently on, but there's another parcel up the street that was the Maryland Tyler parcel that was also part of the special permit. It showed an area, but they never developed that part. Now they're coming in to actually grade it, put in some a detention basin, and put up a barn to process wood chips, I believe. I met with the applicants. This would be a higher grade of wood chip. It would be the kind of wood chip that would go towards paper. That would be resold to paper companies for making paper, I guess. Wood chips are making paper, but they need a.
Logical.
This one actually needs a building because they need a cleaner
Do you
environment.
know the size of this? Can we do that on the 20th?
I believe so. The plans are in. I did meet with them. It's
Not big.
I think the only review we really need is they've submitted their drainage calculations and their retention pond. You know, there's a lot of grading involved, but as long as the town engineer has this, it's a site plan review. So I'll have the week before. If I get all the comments back and John has no problems, I'll put them on. If not,
Okay.
Okay,
I
whatever.
won't, but
All right.
I don't see why not. I think everything, they just submitted their application yesterday, but I quickly went through the application, and it looked like they had all their,
Okay.
ducks in order.
1568.
they're looking for administrative site plan approval for the location for a natural gas generator at 1 Niblick, this A.W. Hastings. Actually, the next,
That's a new place over on the industrial
Right.
park.
so they're just looking to put an exterior gas generator in the front of their building, so it's facing Niblick Road. I guess they're a corner piece. There's one, they're on a corner of Phoenix and Niblick, and it's, as long, I mean, they're
What
asking.
is this, this is natural gas, so they're tying into the gas.
Right.
There's two.
68 and 69 are both generate for natural.
Right, they're both A.W. Hastings. They have two locations. One is on Niblick Road and one's on Pearson Way. If you ever go by Pearson Way, they got
Two buildings.
a
there.
screening of arborvitae. It's about, I'd say, 10, 12 feet high that's going to go in there.
Are they
They're gonna-
doing both buildings or just one?
No, they're doing both buildings.
Is that two separate,
Two separate site plans and
Well, right, one is Niblick Road, which is on one side of town. The other one's Pearson Way.
yeah, but it's Pearson Way, two sets of plans or two generators?
No, just one generator will service both buildings.
Okay.
The one generator will according to their
I
plans.
would like to have the paperwork on that
Yeah.
myself, simply because you've got the fire departments and probably engineering with the gas lines. I know there's a distance requirement on that,
Pardon, for what?
for the distance away from the buildings.
They're going to be
And how they
tucked
do
in
'em,
fairly
I-
close to the buildings. That's,
Huh?
Well, they can come in. I mean, or can't they give us the plans and?
We have the plans. You want to see them?
Well,
I mean, all right. But you want them to come in for site plan approval next agenda?
yeah, that
I
won't
just
take
thought maybe
long.
we'd get some stuff off the, okay.
Put them on the 20th, and would it be possible to put them up earlier?
Well, it's,
On the
if you
agenda?
take them out of order, all site plans usually come out of new business, so,
I know. Oh, all right. Well, I'll put them up in the front of the
new business, okay.
new SPRs. Okay, so that really we got quite a few on the 20th.
4, 5, 6.
2, 3, 4, 5 site plans and 2 public hearings.
Okay, that shouldn't be too bad, though. The public hearings don't look bad. Okay, anything further on that, Jose, on the applications be received?
No,
Okay.
well, although, and I don't know whether doing it now under planners report, we did get a couple, one inquiry from, and I don't know if you were watching the council meeting on Monday night, Matthew Rominski had appeared before them to announce that they were going to have a military appreciation day on September 22nd, which is at the Porter and Chester, which is, I think they're looking to do, a day of activities, including have National Guard vehicles, some EMS and other town emergency responding vehicles, have hot dogs and hamburgers, I believe, and just some ceremonies recognizing.
Have they done this before?
No, I don't believe so.
And
it's
do
a
they
new-
have you have any information with you?
No, we had asked, I had sent them a note saying that, we treat these as, the first time they come around, we treat them as site plan amendments,
Yeah.
that, because they do involve activities that the fire marshal may be,
Put them on the 20th if they're ready.
if I do have, they're saying they were still getting some responses back about the vehicles that will be arriving on campus. And it looks, from what their communications say, we only know so far that it looks like the Guard will be bringing in 2 Humvees. I'm sure more will be added, but as I get all the information next week, I'll
But
send that
Jose,
to
they
you.
don't need the information. All they need to do is tell them how many spaces they're using,
Right,
and that's
just
it.
a layout. I asked, if you can get
So
me a
they
site
don't
plan just
really-
showing where the activity is going to take place.
Right.
And basically, contact the fire, I told them, just to get things going, to contact the fire marshal and the traffic safety officer, and, because those are the type of questions those basically are the 2 items.
I mean,
the
it's
commission's
like
gonna be most
the
concerned
fellow
about.
doing the, over here at the mall didn't tell us how many vehicles he's coming.
Right, and that's
He
all.
told us the spaces he's
All I
using,
asked
and
for
that's
was
it.
a layout, basic layout of the activities, and,
Well, if they're ready on the 20th, we'll take them on the
okay.
20th.
Well, they're doing this on the 22nd, so hopefully we'll be ready on the 20th.
Well, that's up to them.
That's where they have the posters put up, so, okay. And I
Okay.
did tell them to contact North Central in case there's anything with the hot dogs and hamburgers, so we did try to steer them in the right direction.
Okay. Approval of minutes, July 19th.
I'd make a motion to table the minutes since we just got them in our envelope.
Motion to table, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, I guess Nick is voting now, Don. August 9th, special meeting.
I'll make a motion to table the minutes.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. August 9th, special meeting 2.
Make a motion to table the minutes.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? Minutes are tabled. Donna, Ron, are you voting? Oh, okay. It's unanimous. All right, moving on. Staff reports, town attorney. Where's this big thick order? Okay.
Attorney.
Oops, excuse me. Jose, no town attorney's report is here, and it really, nothing's changed. I guess they have nothing back from the courts.
You should have a sheet in your,
Yeah, there was a
There's
sheet.
a
there's just
sheet.
no word on any of
Basically,
it.
there's nothing.
on any of our court
As of the
cases.
date, the court has yet to rule.
Okay. Any questions for Jose on town attorney's report?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Monthly report, zoning enforcement officer. Again, a good item. I have one problem, and I guess it's the thing, on her report on, I guess it's the next page, I have it underlined, 726, 85 Middle Road. It says, NOV for farm stand and signage in residential district under 3 acres. And then there's a letter further on. There's no explanation of why the outcome was as it is. Is there a possibility of obtaining the reason for the decision?
Yeah, I believe that there was a request for town attorney's opinion. I don't know if did you get a copy?
No, it was after the fact.
Okay,
There's a request for it, but
Yeah,
nothing
I
on.
can get you that. I think basically
I think this,
there's two terms in our regulation. One says farm stand, one says roadside stand, and farm stands are for farms that are over 3 acres in size and have certain rules. But there's roadside stands are allowed, and according to the town attorney, the fact that there is a different term in there for roadside stands means that
Yes.
if you just want to, this was a case of, I think, a girl that was
yeah,
selling
but this also dealt with signs.
some
Yeah,
This
vegetables
dealt
out
with
of the.
signs, though. It didn't deal with the roadside stand. I thought it dealt
And
with
signs.
And
signs.
signage, well, yeah,
Yeah.
they had the farm stand, of course,
Right.
they had a sign that said tomatoes for sale.
right, but I also went by and, I mean, my question was, it said eggs for sale. So eggs meant chickens, but there wasn't a violation for chickens. It was only for agricultural activities and farms and the signage.
That I don't know about the eggs, I mean,
Well, no, I'm
the
just,
complaint was they were selling farm activities.
there's no,
Violation went out, there was, the homeowner said, this is just the
yeah, but it
granddaughter
wasn't to
trying to
you.
make
It
some money
didn't
for
come
Girl
through the
Scouts.
proper
And
channels.
and it went through town, and we, I believe, the town attorney was asked for an interpretation of the regulations, and there is a distinction in our
Who
regulations.
asked for the interpretation?
I was on vacation, I imagine.
I know you were.
But
I'm just curious on the
I would
process.
imagine it went through the channels that obviously any requests have to be
okay.
approved.
Well,
But there is in our regulations a separate term that says roadside stands versus farm stands. Roadside stands are allowed. Courts have always held that if, there's no superfluous language.
Okay.
Or shouldn't be.
All right.
If there is two different terms, then the writers of that regulation must have meant that to be two different things. Or also would have said
Right.
farm stands. So
Right.
that was the gist of his opinion, as I read it, and therefore roadside stands were allowed in residential zones, and as opposed to
It makes sense.
this was not a farm stand, basically.
Okay, but
She didn't
so,
have the 3 acres and.
so do we go back, does Ginny go back to the drawing board? Because obviously, there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah, basically, I'm after, do we need to change our regulations, or what's going on?
Well,
I just, it wasn't
Depends.
clear to me
I mean, a
reading
lot
this.
of towns will allow people to sell stuff out of their garden as an accessory
I
use. I mean, if
don't
you put a
mind
little,
that.
you see it, people put baskets out there, leave your money or various
Oh, yeah,
things. When
no,
it gets
I know.
beyond that,
Yeah.
then we do have regulations that say,
No, that's a
have it.
good
So,
idea. But
I
I
don't
thought
see a
this-
need to change our regulations unless someone's
I thought it
running a
included
commercial
some-
operation. If it's, little Amy running a lemonade stand or something that,
I thought it included signs and
There was nothing on signs here.
nothing.
Well, no, I mean, there was
I don't
nothing
know.
about the town attorney's opinion on the signs. It was all
I
about
just heard
the
a lot of
roadside
scuttlebutt
stand.
before we received these copies, and
I mean, obviously, I don't think the issue was with the signs, or no one really considered that. I mean, obviously, if you have a roadside stand, you're going to put a little sign that says lemonade or tomatoes for sale. It's going to be handwritten, not out, as long as it doesn't block. I mean,
well, I go back and envision something like the old Burma Shave signs,
right.
along the highway.
Well, yeah, if it gets to that point and it's in the
Well,
public
I
right away,
don't know if
then
this
it's
was or
an issue.
not.
But
I
if
have
it's-
no idea.
But it's a simple sign announcing the presence of the roadside stand, then it's.
But
And it's
apparently,
taken down
she
every night when the roadside stand goes away.
apparently Ginny felt it was a violation enough to issue a
Well, there was
question, so-
there was a formal complaint, and Ginny's initial reaction was, it was didn't feel it arose to that, and then the complainant pressed the issue, and Ginny went out and felt compelled to issue an
Well, she
order.
felt
and-
compelled because she was compelled, and that's what bothers me.
then someone, obviously the homeowner who got it complained and said, look, this is not a commercial operation. This is just a little girl trying to sell tomatoes and cucumbers or whatever's grown in the garden.
Well,
We don't think it's something that should be regulated, and that's when the request to go to the town, somebody saw that there was a distinction between farm stands and roadside stands in our regulation, and asked the town attorney for opinion, so.
well, I thought they'd bypass Ginny because I see in the thing that Ginny had invited the individual in, and instead of coming in,
Well, at first blush, that's what it seemed like. It's a farm stand, but then upon further
Okay. No,
review of the
I'm just saying
regulations.
the way it went, and
Right.
I feel you got to back your zoning enforcement officer, and if you don't stand behind her, there's no sense in having her at all, and just let things go.
And that's fine, and I think.
No, it isn't fine.
I'm saying, but a lot of times people will read these, and we get complaints all the time, and you issue a notice of violation. Sometimes, people will read that regulation and point out something that perhaps no one had caught before, that there is in fact a distinction between roadside stands and farm
Well, I
stands.
agree.
And raise that
No,
issue. Well,
you're right.
And normally when that happens, we ask for a town attorney's opinion. Look,
I'm
there's two
talking
different
about
terms
proper
and-
procedure, though,
and,
I guess.
I agree.
And I don't think proper procedure was used, but that's my opinion.
Politics ruled.
You're right, politics, that was politics.
AT&T report, and you read that, and they are notified that if they move, then that sign comes down and they can't reuse it. She asks also on the farm stand a question, and you read the article. And the next one is another one I don't understand, is what happened to our draft on poultry. I have no idea. This is not what we started with. And how it ended up, I discussed this with the phone. I was hoping you'd have something tonight that we could work with off of the proposal that was given to us by our subcommittee. And what comes in is nothing to do with our.
Okay, because I wanted to say something about that, because when Ginny and I first met, we did not want to change the farm regulation. The whole intent of our board was to allow chickens, 1 or 2 backyard chickens, for individual consumption, not to sell to the public or whatever. And over the time period, nothing of what we did is what came back into this. And when I looked at this, and then they said, well, now we want to change the definition of farming, I don't know what happened.
We had nothing to do with farms.
We had nothing to do with it.
We're having no problems with farms. And
Our whole intent was just to allow people to have 1 or 2 chickens in a residential zone, but to have some kind of regulations, and all of that got changed, and it's nothing like we started. So we have 2 choices. Vote it down and just
There's nothing
forget
on
it.
the- There's nothing on the
There's
agenda.
nothing.
Well,
to-
we had actually had.
Actually, we got something out of order.
Yeah.
It's down later, but go ahead. You might as well
Or-
finish. It's in the minutes.
Or we go back to the drawing board and meet with the town attorney and say, this is nothing like what we wanted.
Can you, I think that's what I was going to ask. Can you set up a meeting with her so we can, or somebody from the office? Because you have, in my area, I've got ducks and chickens and other things. Now, Ginny has gone out with orders to people to cease on these chickens.
I mean, we're
We're in
trying.
favor of having it.
Right.
Why should she be issuing orders? And if she doesn't have the right to issue orders to not have chickens, then why is she going out issuing them? This is totally confusing.
Right. Yeah, that's probably the best thing. I honestly, I haven't had a chance to read through, because Charlie called me, and I was like, what are you talking about?
I know.
And I
that's-
had to go through my emails finally and see
So,
what.
I mean,
that we
I'm
see
willing to
something,
go.
so.
I was on the subcommittee. I know, I think we should go with what we originally wanted to do.
If you got
Yeah,
copies
and I think the
of it.
original intent was just to check the language to make sure there wasn't
That's all.
anything.
Right, and
Yeah.
it just
But-
came back totally
I
different.
think they took a hard
I don't
look at
even
all
see
of
ours.
it.
I don't even see what I started with in here.
Okay, well, let's get them. Let me see if I can set up a meeting and just see what happened. You know.
I mean, that's how I felt like it
maybe
was
there
a waste of time.
Misunderstanding.
I
there.
mean, we got coops and runs and all kinds of things. We're ready to, and I don't know. He has down registration of poultry as an land use function. We aren't registering poultry unless it was a
language in
section-
there about registering. with the
What?
There was something about, we asked how many, we limited the number, and that they would tell us.
Yeah, and we
Each
had
year, that's all.
discussed originally having the first year of them deciding to have poultry. If they didn't get any complaints, then they could have them. But we needed to have some mechanism in place, so if they were disruptive to the neighbors and they weren't containing them, they would not be allowed to have them.
Okay.
So that got changed somehow.
Let's have a meeting,
Well,
because
it
I
never
might,
got
you know,
accepted. I
Yeah.
have no
I may
idea.
have some suggestions as to what might work with that.
Do they still have a copy of it? I
Yeah.
left
Well,
mine.
yeah, Ginny, it's,
Okay, well,
I'm sure we all have a.
Will you make
it's on the
sure we get
computer,
the-
if it-
Okay.
we'll have,
have a
if
copy.
we have the meeting, we'll need the copies.
All right. I'll set up something.
That takes care of Ginny's report. Any questions for Ginny? Okay, correspondence, you had one item on your desk
We'll
tonight.
have my report and public participation.
I'm sorry, you're right. Okay, you're right. I know.
Sorry about-
I turned the page already, down to trying to move
Keep
along.
it short.
Okay. Well, we got people in the audience who wish to probably go home.
Yeah.
Zoning enforcement officer was taken care of, director of planning.
Just really quickly, I took most of August off to go on vacation, so we did get the RFQ out for the Thompsonville zoning study that we're doing through the monies that CROG is providing us. We got 4 good firms responded, and we'll be interviewing them on the morning of the 19th and rating them, and hopefully choosing one firm to conduct the study. CROG is going to be involved in those interviews because it's their money, or they're passing it through. It's
Okay.
actually federal funds, so hopefully we'll get that thing going shortly, right after that.
Is that why we haven't done the plan of conservation and development? Because we had a meeting way back when on putting that with our zoning map, and you were going to do some work, and then we
I
just
started doing
haven't
work
done it.
on the southern side. Right now, we're, like I said, that can
But
go on independently.
That's
of
what
that.
we wanted to get straightened out.
That's just for the Thompsonville area.
I know.
The other stuff we can still handle as long as, you know.
Well, when you're ready, we should get back and get
there's-
that going.
I know I got some GIS work on the southern side that I start.
That's what we, yeah.
It's, you know, instead of
All right,
maybe
well,
trying to
we'll-
tackle it all at once, we should do it piecemeal just because
Well, all right.
get busy and.
We'll get some of it done and we'll get going
All
on
right.
it. Okay.
That's it. That's it for me for now.
We have a new traffic safety officer.
Oh, I'm
You want
sorry.
to tell the commission?
I did want to mention that. Thank you. That was on my list. Sergeant Chuck Grasso, I think I got his name right, is the new traffic safety officer. I'm going to be meeting actually, I have a meeting with him tomorrow morning, just to go over things. You could tell that he's already submitted some memos in response to some of the applications that we sent. So I look forward to working with him and hopefully, have good participation in our reviews.
Okay, the other thing is I have a letter, and it's under, I guess it'd be correspondence. But while you're there, there's a lady who wants to meet with us, and do you know what it regards?
It's under correspondence. Yeah, it's actually, it's not, it's sent from an email address, but the person that wants to meet with you is Tom Ragno. He wants to meet informally. He just told me that he wanted to discuss issues with elderly housing. Either, do you want to have an informal meeting at the end of the agenda? I mean, or do you want him just to come under public participation? It does whatever.
Is it he'd like to build, change zoning?
I'm not quite sure, but I know he has some.
Well, just trying to figure out how long it would take and the type of.
I told him,
time.
no more than 15 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I don't think
That's our rule.
I don't think he has any particular project in mind, but he might have some suggestions or issues.
well, I don't know if we needed to have answers. And all right, that's.
And
I'd go
if
because
you want,
we've
I
got
told him we might have a busy meeting.
Yeah, put them in October. We've got a full.
First meeting October,
Yep.
if it's not too busy.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Jose? Okay, hearing none this time, I'll go to public participation. At this point in the meeting, Planning and Zoning Commission welcomes comments, concerns, and opinions relating to planning and zoning in Enfield from anyone who's present, provided no one may discuss any matter of business at this time that's already elsewhere on the agenda, any matter that's part of an open public hearing of the commission, or any matter where a decision of the commission may be pending. Anyone in the public that would like to address the commission? Anyone like to address the commission? Last call to address the commission this evening. Okay, moving on then, correspondence. There was another letter here, and I don't have it. Oh, maybe that was under another area. The gentleman up by State Line, again, it concerns me, instead of coming to you or to us, had gone to Ray. And I guess Ray told him he should come in and talk with us. And do you have him in a time that he will be in?
No, I think that was under Ginny's, the zoning enforcement officer's report. There was a letter that she sent out, basically giving, suggesting that if he needed, if he really, because he's putting in more cars, that he needs to come in and make an
It's the cars
application
that we've had
to
trouble
change the
with.
condition. I think the conditions of his approval set a certain number of cars, and he keeps exceeding those. And we keep enforcing it. He keeps removing them and then puts them
Well,
back in.
it's a gentleman that parks on the sidewalk, and he parks on the tree
Right,
belt, and he's destroyed the tree belt, so it would be
I don't
nice
know.
if he would come in.
Well, I haven't heard from him. I know Ginny suggested he contact me.
Well, that's what I was afraid of and what I was talking about before, that people will
Let's see what that letter was.
feel they can bypass the zoning enforcement officer without coming to us.
The letter was dated August 7th.
She's supposed to, by charter, work for us.
August 7th, the letter was sent out, and I have not heard back. And she
Okay,
suggested
well,
that he sit down with me and discuss it, and told him,
I know when she went down, because there were a lot of violations up there, and when she went out, she did stop with everyone and made suggestions to them on how they could correct certain things on their signage and the rest. And apparently, he took offense or wanted to go around her enforcement.
Basically ignored her.
But you have others up in the same area, because one does it, the others feel they can do it too, and it's entirely spreading. And if they don't do anything about it, and I don't know, again, have you heard any news on the fines? Supposedly that subcommittee had a meeting a long time ago.
Correct.
Check with Red and see what's
Just
going
before I
on.
went on vacation, I have not heard. I think it's under consideration. I'll find out for you. I'll ask for an update.
Okay.
I know that they did have a meeting the last week
Because,
of July.
okay. Correspondence, Ellington is the top one, and we were notified they had proposed the zonings, residential zones are changing to a C zone for the remaining so many acres. They're changing some of their acreage that abuts Enfield apparently. That was about the only one I think that affected us. Do we respond to those, Jose? Because I'm looking at the ones, and this is something new, that we get the town of Windsor Locks changing the zoning referrals, and they send us the copies that they've authorized them.
Yeah, the Ellington one, I'm
Which
not
is
sure of,
nice to
because I
know
think
what's
West Road
going on.
is Route 83, and I'm not sure it butts us. They probably just sent it, because I see they said abutting towns of south, well, they just list abutting towns, but I don't think we're technically an abutting town to that zone change, so we don't get direct notification.
Commissioners' correspondence, I think you had your magazines and other notifications. Anything from any commissioner? Down to my left?
No.
How about to my right? Everything all right downtown, Dominic?
That's quiet summer.
Quiet summer.
We need investors.
Investors?
Other than that, that's
Okay. Would be nice, yeah. All right, moving on. Bond releases none, public hearing none, old business none. News business SPR 1560. Site plan approval to rebuild a previously demolished maintenance garage, 64 Pearl Street, TVCZ District, map 24, lot 101. Perfect View Remodeling, applicant and St. Patrick's Church is the owner. This goes back to some demolition work and so forth that we had authorized prior. And Jose, is anybody to tell us about what?
The applicant
Is the
here?
applicant here?
The
You
applicant is here. If you want
Want
to
to come
step up.
down and tell us about it? While he's coming down, it's okay on the revitalization. I don't know, but I thought we did design elements, and the revitalization's now getting into design elements?
Well, they suggested, I mean, that's why we did if you recall, we did the Thompsonville guidelines because ERSC felt, that they didn't really have anything to judge applications by, and part of it
Kathy,
was
you
for
go
their
to those,
consideration and,
Lori goes now.
yeah, so they're,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
again, they're just recommendations. and-
Oh, I know that, but
And
okay.
And in the past, they felt they didn't really have a clear-cut standards to judge these applications by, and part of the reason we did those guidelines was to sort of give them something to look at and recommend to the
Well, it
commission.
just
To have
seems
another
that-
set of eyes on the architecture that was going on out
It
there.
just seems an additional burden on the people that are making applications that they gotta hit two people like that.
Any application in Thompsonville Village is
I know.
automatically gets referred, so.
Well,
You may
goes for
wanna-
Hazardville too. Okay, well, I just wondered. Anyhow, they have the approval, and they have the okay on the fire department, nothing from the police, because it wouldn't have involved them, and nothing from engineering, I guess that doesn't have anything.
I talked to John, and he basically says it's exactly where the old garage was, there's no
Right.
engineering concerns.
Yeah.
He didn't feel it.
Okay. What do you want to tell us about the project? If you'll introduce yourself first and
My
give
name
us
is
your
Louis
name and
Cook. I'm
address.
the owner of Perfect View Remodeling.
Okay,
As you know, the demolition that occurred last year and all the subsequent remediation of the pipes and the asbestos in the building and so on was all completed about, I don't know, month and a half ago now. They actually did have to pick up dig up some of the parking lot to find some pipes that had some asbestos for the old school and so on and so forth. So that has all been completed. As far as I know, it's
That's
been
right.
signed
There was
off
an old school
on.
there.
The new garage is nearly, I believe, the exact same size as the old garage. Now, if anybody, probably all familiar with it, but there was a maintenance garage.
Yeah.
Then there was a brick building that housed a workshop, and it was also access to the underground steam plant that was underneath the prayer garden that was there. That steam plant had been abandoned for years, so that was what was demolished also. The new maintenance garage is going to go exactly where the old wooden garage was, attached to that brick structure. So it's the furthest point from Pearl Street is where the maintenance garage was, and that's where the new one will go also in the same footprint. I did meet with, I can't remember the gentleman's name, Brian. Yeah.
Peter, yeah,
We did meet and talk over some aspects of it. Its requirements didn't seem too stringent, so we did throw in a few elements that we thought might add some architectural value to the building. It's not it's obviously not a showpiece, it's just a maintenance garage. On the Pearl Street side, there will still be another prayer garden. We'll go in there. And on the back, which is the back side of the garage, the garage is obviously on the parking lot side or end of the garage. And we will put a little bit higher concrete wall on the opposite end so that they can rebuild their prayer garden that they had there prior to the demolition.
it was on top of it was on top of the steam, or the top of the board.
It was on top of the steam plant. That's what the prayer garden was.
Yeah.
The prayer garden will be a little bit larger now because the brick building is no longer there, so it will be a little bit larger. So, but there's nothing special about the building. It's probably your typical garage, unfinished interior, vinyl siding on the outside. They asked us to try to find a color that would blend in well with the church and the rectory. One overhead door, a pedestrian door, a couple of windows, and architectural asphalt shingles on the roof. They asked us, the other committee there asked us to put some molding around the fascia or something to give it a little bit more decorative quality. So basically, it's a typical two-car garage, only one overhead door on the end of the garage. There's really only one bay, but pretty straightforward.
Okay. What was the color that,
What was the color that you picked to
It's
match?
on
Pick a
the-
color.
Oh, you didn't patch,
We just
okay.
we're just going to try to pick a color. Now, vinyls are not made in deep colors for a reason. They fade and they're just not well warranted. So we're going to try to find the darkest color, a color that will, again, blend in with the, it'll probably be a dark beige or with a reddish tone or something like that that'll,
And we've got probably, I don't know, specifying earth tone. That's a possibility if you want, under the conditions.
Okay,
And that would cover everything, I guess.
okay.
That's what we've done on other
Yeah,
buildings.
right, and I know ERC just basically, their condition was that it try to match the rectory as closely as possible. And that's,
That's almost an impossibility, I would think. Isn't that Rick?
well, part of the rectory is yellow on that end, so if you want yellow,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, that's why we're saying maybe earth tone.
They're actually thinking about rebuilding that. That actually was an old structure. I don't know if you guys are that familiar with it, but there's actually a small structure that was rebuilt whenever. And they put yellow siding on it. That's actually maybe rebuilt in the next year or so. They're thinking about rebuilding that small extension to the offices there. At that point, we'd probably match the siding, whatever
So
we
put
use
that
on
on
the
the additions.
Okay, so we'll add that onto the conditions?
Just a condition would be an earth tone.
Okay.
Who's going to approve that?
Well, no, have you read the conditions yet? Has Jose given you a copy of the conditions?
I don't think I received it.
if you provided us with an email, Barbara would have sent it.
I did get an email. There was 2 attachments.
Hold on, somebody
memo?
got it. Okay, let me,
My memo is the conditions.
Okay, your memo's the conditions? Okay.
If you read the second page.
Okay, second page. Maybe I didn't read it carefully.
If you have no problem with that, are there any other questions for the applicant?
Again, I have no trouble with that, does there need to be a specific, do I need to bring the specific color and?
No.
Okay.
Just earth tone.
Yeah, just,
Yeah, we'll be.
In other words, we're not looking
If you
for
wanna- if you wanna
lime
send me
green
something,
or
it's fine.
Yellow.
yellow or, okay,
Purple.
or purple.
That's all right. I think the church is, Father John, the pastor, and they're all very conservative, so I'm sure it will be. And I believe at this point, the insurance company's agreed to pay for the additional modifications that the committee asked for.
Okay.
You'll be using the same curb cut to get on and off the property with the
There
trucks?
isn't it's adjacent to the parking lot. The parking lot is where you get access to the garage, so there's
Yeah.
no curb cut.
You're not making a new curb.
No, it's the existing parking lot, the same curb, the same access.
Sets in the middle
It's
of the
always been
parking
there.
lot.
No changes there. In fact, it didn't even affect the fencing or the sidewalk when they demolished. They were able to preserve the sidewalk and everything when they were thinking at some time that they were gonna take out the sidewalk, but that never happened.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions for him? Jose, anything?
no.
Okay, so there'll be 9 conditions, and how do we do basically siding shall be of an earth tone color?
Color. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, no problems with the conditions, then, sir? No problems with it, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't have,
Okay, then,
is there a grace
Nothing?
period between the time that we can actually pull the permit?
You have 5 years to complete.
But no, we can pull the permit tomorrow then, as long, after the approval?
Yeah, at your own risk. I mean, there's anybody can appeal a decision.
there's an appeal.
It'll go in the paper probably on Saturday, and there's like a
Right.
15-day appeal period. If you feel reasonably comfortable that no one's going to appeal, then
Are we putting a legal notice in, or you?
we put it in.
Okay,
It'll be in Saturday's paper.
okay.
okay.
It's not gonna happen that fast.
I'll close SPR
That's the only
1560.
advice.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to waive the full submissions requirements of section 9.102 because the commission finds that the information is not necessary in order to decide on the application's conformance with these regulations.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to waive the drawings. All in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. No abstentions. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1560 site plan approval to rebuild a previously demolished maintenance garage at 64 Pearl Street in the TVCZ district, map 24, lot 101, Perfect View Remodeling. Applicant, St. Patrick's Church Corporation owner. This is an approval subject to the conformance with the plan submitted as part of the record and the following 9 conditions, and the 9th condition being that the siding be of earth tone color. In a memo dated by Jose Geiner on August 8th, 2012.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? It's unanimous. I think it'll make an improvement to the property, and they've already made improvements to it.
Okay.
Thank you very
What's
much.
the appeal? How long do they have to appeal?
It's a 15-day period,
Yeah.
but you know, you can
Yeah,
apply for a permit. I mean, the building,
I understand, I just
Department has a certain
want to
amount
know
of time.
what the
You can
appeal-
apply.
length of the appeal process.
we don't keep you from applying.
SPR 1561, site plan approval for additional parking for Yard House Restaurant on lot located at 1656 King Street in the BL District, map 13, lot 37. Thomas Parker, applicant, Tri-State Rentals LLC owner. Applicant, please give your name and your address.
Tom Parker, 250 Elm Street, Weathersfield, Connecticut.
And would you explain, please, sir, what it is that you wish to do?
Yeah, I'd like to take the lot on the north side of our building and make it approved parking for 19 parking spaces. Right now, where the gas station that Tri-State took down is only approved for 9 spaces. So we'd like to turn that into not mud, not make it a secure area where people can park. People don't have to park on Depot Hill or park on King Street. Give us more controlled parking in our own parking lot.
But you're parking all the way down on the grass on, off of King Street.
No?
right now. That's the south side, yeah.
Yes.
But that's not approved.
I don't,
I mean, I've asked about that previously. Jose, I know we have to take care of this, but that has been a problem for you.
oh, it is
That-
definitely,
that-
we're going at right now I'm looking to put a patio on, which you talked about earlier. And this is a 3-phase project for us. And I think when I met a couple people a couple months ago with Jose, we went to say, can I do this? I don't want to take everything off. I can't spend $5,000.
No, I understand, but
So I have to do it in little bits. And our goal is to get these 19 spaces, then we'll have enough spaces to be able to do a small patio.
well, just so that you're aware that those where you're parking on the grass has not been approved.
Oh, I understand that.
Okay.
And we also there's a plan in for that, but I'm not gonna, I don't wanna do 3 things at once or else.
I know.
Say no tonight, then the rest is all irrelevant.
Yeah, I
You know what I
know.
mean? So I'm not
Okay.
gonna go on to anything else.
This has it okay from the fire department, okay on the police department. Engineering had problems because how are you going to mark the center parking?
Yeah, I had everything redone, everything that Jose gave me for the changes that were asked, we did. We're gonna do some posts with rope in between so that you can tell that that's a center
Is
aisle.
that basically the same that you're doing down on the grass now with the ropes and
No, something with 4x4, something that's gonna be
more
permanent.
permanent?
Oh, yeah, something that you're gonna walk, you're gonna be able to drive in and see these are parking spaces. I've also been in contact with someone that has a product where you can put actual lines on the crushed stone. It has to be done about every 3 months.
Yeah.
But it's a process that almost hardens right on the stone, and it makes parking spaces.
Except in the winter when they plow.
Right, and when they plow, it's a mess no matter what, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Not on a pavement then either.
Okay. Let's see. Have you read the conditions that Jose has put down?
Yes, I have.
In his memo, do you have any problem with those?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and I don't know yet if the commission is going to add any. Do you have any questions for the applicant?
I had a couple questions, just because I know you're coming in for like the special use permit, and it has to do with the signs. There's been illegal signs out in front of the Art House tonight as I drove by to check out the parking thing. They were there again. I know the zoning enforcement officer sent a letter at some point. I mean, it's hard, I mean, the signs,
The signs which she asked me, Lori, was to say not to block view. We used to put them this way on the ends. And she's right, it was very hard. So now we have them almost at a 45-degree angle, so that's not blocking anyone's view.
okay, I'm not sure, maybe, Jose, we
I
can
think they're
get.
not legal in the
Yeah.
first place. I think, she might have said, I mean, I don't know, I don't have the letter in front of me, but
That was, when I asked her, I said, Ginny, what was the problem? And said, you're gonna, people coming down Route 5, it's a problem to see when
Now,
you pull
Sam,
out.
Which
it might
boards?
have been one of the problems, but the other problem
The
is that
sandwich
we don't
boards.
allow portable, those type of signs, period.
Okay, I mean,
So,
I did not
and that
know.
might have been
Okay.
in her note, and then she might have
that's-
cited, I can't speak for her, so,
Okay.
because I don't have it, but
So,
that
just-
might have been one of the reasons, but.
So for future
Okay,
Reference.
reference for the special use permit, it would be nice not to have the illegal signs, because I know
Well,
that,
We're glad you're doing the business you're
Business.
doing. That's great.
try.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know.
So we try to work with you.
so Jose, could we have Ginny just check the sign issue to make sure that he can comply correctly with the signs?
Sure.
And then, so that when he comes in for the special use permit, that won't be an issue?
Okay.
Charlie, I want to
Yes.
ask Jose about the sign out front there. Is there a difference between his sign on Route 5 and the sign that's out front of the old Mayat's package store advertising lotteries tickets? What's the difference?
All those portable signs are not permitted under.
They're not permitted.
All right, I had asked
And I know-
Ginny,
and
I
there's-
I asked Ginny about that sign. She told me because it's selling state lottery tickets, he's allowed to leave that sign out there. So I think the confusion is people drive by and see that sign, and I think Tom puts his out there, and I don't see why he can if they could.
I will check with that. I
That's what
know
I'm
the state
getting
is
at.
that,
You've
but
got to have equal enforcement, yep.
No consistency.
right,
It's not fair.
It's the property owner putting that sign out, not the state, so
Right.
I will check with that.
I have no problem. I mean, if I
Okay.
have to take it down, I have to take it
Okay.
down. I've been moving them because that was a concern. We move them around. Just
You
to
got a
make it-
nice-looking business out there. It
Right.
really is.
Well, I have to comply, I understand.
I know.
can't- and
No,
it's-
you do.
You got your
But-
hands full. you
Well,
know?
we're happy that you're doing the business that
You
you're
are.
doing.
Charlie, I'd like to add, we've go there, and my relatives come from Massachusetts to go there, and the job they do there and keep that place clean,
It is.
the right clientele, and I was there one night, and Mr. Parker seen some people pull up, and they got out of the car, and they looked like some rough characters, and he got out there and told them, don't even bother coming in. And I thought that was a great thing. I wanted to thank you personally one day, and I want to do it now.
No, that's good, thank you. It's, yep.
As far as the signs go, I'm not sure you even need them. Word of mouth has been pretty good about your place.
You know what it is? We have to try to do events, or else we're
Right.
gonna be just like anybody else. And so when people drive by, you guys all know how much traffic
Yeah.
is on Route 5.
Oh, there's a lot.
You'd be surprised how many people come in for the first time, and they live in Enfield, and they don't know what we are. So we try to put signs out to say, like, tonight's karaoke, or tomorrow night's trivia, so people driving by go, oh, my Lord, I didn't realize that, you know, as opposed to seeing this thing that says Yard House Tavern.
Well,
There may be a way, and I know when this other business up in State Line, that's what Jenny did. She made suggestions to some of those people what they could do on signs.
Right, we do allow certain types of banners, and for limited
So-
duration and certain times, so, you know, you can certainly advertise certain things when special events are coming up by
Okay.
taking out banner
Banners.
permits.
Okay.
But if you contact Jenny,
Check with Jenny.
she can tell
Okay.
you what the permits
I'll
are.
stop
and-
by tomorrow.
And you can see businesses have them out on, you know, they might have them before Mother's Day, they might,
Okay.
your cycle may be different.
Okay.
And you may want them during the
Okay.
summer versus the winter, or vice versa.
Any questions, any further questions for the applicant? Okay, Jose, anything?
No, I think you have all the comments.
Okay.
And I did put, and I know he revised his plans, but the condition number one was to have the engineer look, you know, final plan shall indicate how the middle parking spaces are be laying on the ground, and they'll be run by John before we sign.
Sure.
We give them to Peter to sign.
Okay, anything further? Then I'll close public hearing, I'm sorry, SPR 1561.
Thank you. Make a motion to accept site plan 1561
Approve.
to approve with the 10 conditions. Is there more than 10?
14.
14 conditions, in a memo dated from Jose Geiner dated August 30th for additional parking for the Yard House Tavern.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? I feel it'll be an improvement to the property and to the business
Absolutely.
and for the public's parking. If you're ready to vote, all in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous, 700.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Continue your business. Well, good.
Thanks.
Site plan review 1563, is the applicant here? This is existing use of three-person way. Allied Rehab Center, and this ties into Washington Road, I believe. Jose, we have nothing from police, fire, or engineering. Or
You should have something from the
maybe
fire,
fire, I'm sorry, we did have fire.
and I think we had
I
something
just
from
didn't make a
engineering
note of it.
also.
Yeah, John had, no-
I don't think the police.
the
had
only
it.
thing he had a notice was on the map. I believe that it appeared, I saw that too, there's a car in the, or a parking space that's drawn in front of the entrance to the area. And he wanted that corrected. Okay, if you'll explain, please, give your name and address for the record and explain your conditions.
Deborah Arietti, Allied Rehabilitation Centers, 3 Pearson Way.
Arnold Biondi, LP Consultants Engineers, Enfield.
And what is it you want to do out there? I know we have a map, but would you explain to us?
We are looking to expand an existing parking lot and add 21 additional spaces to it. And with regards to the question about the parking spot, that has already been corrected, and the revised plan was sent to Paul Sensky, showing that that spot was removed. It was just an error.
Has Jose, did you receive that, Jose?
I got the email from Paul that he had received it, said thanks, and that he had seen it. Unfortunately, I don't think his picture came out on the email. That was after the packets. I think after the packets had been prepared, I did get an email back from Paul. Just said thank you for
taking some of this out.
So, and I think it's in the conditions anyway. So, the final plans will be the ones that are.
Jose, is 294 on your aerial?
Pardon?
Do you have your copy of the aerial there? Is 294 their other building on Washington?
Yes, it is.
Are they planning to cut through, open that up?
Not. I know you can get there from there, but I think it's walking through grass at this point, right?
That's correct. It's just grass. We're not. Yeah, these plans do not include anything with George Washington Road.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. I know they were talking about, I guess, walk through or path or walkway or something last time.
I did get that one. It's another.
Yeah, the 294 is their other building.
That one I got.
No, yeah, but they're talking about that one up on the side here is the one they're talking about. What they're going to do is apparently they're taking some of the trees out of there for parking.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll be moving back 16 feet, taking down a few trees. A lot of that is already grass, and we're just moving it back 16 feet so we can add another row of parking on the other side. And with reference to the curb stops, we do intend to put those in. It was just not mentioned on the plan.
Okay.
John, I just noticed it does say relocate existing cart top, so.
Yeah.
On the plans, so maybe
So
it
that's
was
the
missed.
revised plan
Okay.
shows that extra parking spot will be removed.
Have you read the conditions that Jose has put on the approvals?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any problems?
No, I just have one question. The 10 inches of crushed stone
Yes,
to
that's,
meet the requirements for fire equipment,
yeah,
that kind of confuses me, and we would have
Yes.
no problem doing that if we need to,
the trucks are heavy, especially if
understand
they're
that.
carrying the water.
but the existing fire lane would still be there. The existing parking lot would be the fire lane. The new parking would not be a fire lane.
No, but
So-
if there's a fire in there, they have to be able to get in on that area, not just on that one area.
No, that's the town standard, I think.
It's the
that
town
he's-
standard
that he's
anyhow
saying,
for that.
And it he usually recommends that on all stone parking lots. I believe we had the same recommendation on the previous one
Yes, we did.
for the yard house. So
That's standard.
That's a standard recommendation, is that these parking lots be built to
You'd be
withstand.
having,
All right, we just
You'd
want to
have
make sure
records
that.
and you're pulling people out.
And I don't know what, the current one may be that, I don't know. I would think that.
Well,
that
that's
when
what I'm
we-
thinking. The current parking lot was put in about 4 years ago.
That might
yeah,
have,
that would be
That would
the same.
actually be the new fire
Right.
lane.
And
So, yeah.
and it may have been also, I have it here with me, I don't know what the detail says, but I
Okay.
suspect
I
that
don't-
John had asked for a 10-foot, 10-foot,
Yeah, for
10-inch.
10 inches. So, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Because
that's
the
a
plan
minimum
was going to
standard.
be 4 inches of compacted gravel and then 6 inches of crushed stone. But if you needed all 10 inches of gravel, that's fine, or stone.
Crushed stone.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the
town
stone
requirements.
pavement on the existing site plan that was approved back then showed 6 inches of crushed stone over 4 inches of compact gravel base, so it's a 10-inch.
So that would still be acceptable.
No, it may be. Is that acceptable, Jose? Because he says, it says 10-inch depth on crushed stone, right?
Right.
Right.
Yep.
I would, well, it's a total 10-inch base, whether the,
I don't know if the combination is.
yeah, I don't know, the combination, that was part of what was proposed at the last, when you
Check
had your
with-
approval in 2008, so.
Check with John.
Let me look at what John's comments might have been, but unless the standards have changed, I would think that was, there were no special conditions regarding, so I assume that was fine. I would just check with John.
Yeah, I guess I just want a
To say.
clarification on that. Is the
That's
10
town
inches
standard.
all crushed stone, or can it be the 4 inches of compact gravel and then 6 inches of stone?
I think so.
Well, you'll have to check with John.
Check with John on that, but that
Engineering.
last one added up to 10 inches, like I
Right.
said.
So,
I
all
don't
right,
know.
we just
I'm
wanted to
assuming,
make sure
I
we
can't
did it
assume
the right
anything,
way.
but, you know,
Yeah, no, we just wanted to make
that's,
sure that we
that's
do
what
it
was
the
shown
way
on the
we
plans that
want
you
it done,
submitted the
and-
last time you came in, so unless things have changed, but I would.
Okay, if you have any other questions from the commission? Jose, just nothing?
No, I just put whatever conditions that John had,
Okay, then I'll-
and I just, condition number 2 was one of John's, the curb stop issues, and then the number 1 was the clarification of where that parking stall was really, which has been taken care of already, so.
Okay.
Okay, I'll close SPR 1563.
Make a motion to approve SPR 1563, site plan modification to additional parking spaces, to add additional parking spaces to the existing use at 3 Persons Way in an I-1 district, map 75, lot 3, Allied Rehabilitation Center applicant owner. This approval is subject to the conformance with the reference plan as may be required to be modified in the following, I think there were 14 conditions in a memo dated by Jose Geiner on August 30th, 2012.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous, 700. It's nice to know that you're helping our citizens and you need more space to have vehicles to help them.
Yes, we're actually growing, which is something these days.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, we don't have enough parking for our staff anymore.
It's nice to do the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
1564, site plan modification to designate an area parking lot for commuter parking and construct 1 bus shelter at Enfield Square, 90 Elm Street. Map 43, lot 16, Enfield Square LLC. Applicant owner is the applicant here. You come forward, give your name and address, and explain to the commission what it is exactly you're planning to do.
Arthur Wilczak, representing Enfield Square, 90 Elm Street. The Department of Transportation, State of Connecticut, wants to relocate their existing commuter lot from the Bob's area to our parking lot at the Enfield Square in a designated area that's kind of slow in traffic. And they're going to also install a shelter to protect the people from the elements. We're going to do some cross-hatching for the bus areas to pick up the commuters. Install 4 handicap stalls, which they're not really going to use because they don't have handicap on their standard commuter bus, but we're going to put there anyway just in case for future. And pretty much that's it. I met with the traffic control officer, was when it was Santinella, Sergeant
Right.
Santinella.
Yeah, we have the
The
okay
issue-
from the English and from the engineering, and we also have the okay from Sergeant Santinello. And also the fire
From the
department.
fire marshal,
Yep.
correct.
Yep, so he's done his thing. Any questions?
I had a couple questions. One of them was, I saw about the multiple uses in our zoning regs, but I didn't see exactly how many parking spots they use, and I was more concerned about the Christmas holiday season. I know right now, if you go to the mall, that whole corner is basically empty, but when the holidays come, there was no information in here, and I'm assuming it said you needed 300 spaces, or 350 spaces. I was more concerned what happens at the holidays when there is a lot more traffic, and how much parking are you actually taking up, and how much is left for the,
Well, the 350 number was just a ballpark figure from the state that could exceed to that point. And as far as the Christmas holiday, we have not filled up that area in a long time, unfortunately.
okay. But I also.
Traffic is down.
Then the other question was, when you plow in the snow, that's where you always put all of your snow piles, then you move them sometimes to the retainage in the back, and, you
No,
know.
actually, the designated area for the snow in that location is in the grass part,
The grass. yeah.
adjacent to the parking stalls. Actually, if you look on the site plan there, you'll see where I'm gonna locate the handicap stalls. That's actually labeled as a snow area.
Okay,
Plus the other side of the ring road towards 91.
Yeah.
There's a grass area there that we're allowed to a certain extent to put snow to.
to put the snow, okay.
Any further questions? I notice a lot of times that you allow the tractor trailers to park there. Where will they move?
Well, actually, we don't allow them to park there.
Oh.
The only tractor trailers you'll see there is if they make a delivery and they'll go up to Friendly's or Wendy's. And, I mean, if they're there for whatever time it takes to eat, and then they're gone.
Oh, okay.
Our security is instructed not to allow them to park there overnight.
Okay.
First of all, it's against the zoning. They can't park there overnight. We have to get special use to put a tractor trailer box there for storage during
Yeah,
construction,
yeah,
which we've
yeah,
done in the
yeah.
past.
Oh, I just have always seen them there. And I
Oh, yeah,
thought they were-
they'll come in and we
But you
throw
run
them
them
out.
out? Okay. Oh,
Now, on that note, you might have seen also the state will, on a routine basis, I'm not sure what their schedule's like, but they'll pull the tractors, trailers in there to do weigh,
Okay.
check their loads, check their records, make sure they're operating properly, then they shift them out.
Okay,
I think you've seen that.
yeah. Okay, have you read the conditions? I guess there are only 4, which is not too many, I guess. Any problems?
No problems whatsoever.
Okay, Jose, anything?
No, again,
All
I
righty.
think for the most part, even during Christmas hours, the most of the commuters will be out of there when the evening, when the heavy rush is coming on, and I'm sure it's the mall's hope that the people will utilize, that are there, will also stop on their way home to do some shopping, so.
Yeah.
So there'll be
It's
some
not up to me,
cross
but
use
I-
of that,
I was
of
looking
those
at-
spaces.
I was looking at the directions the bus was coming, and the entrance would be on Elm Street, and I would think they'd want to avoid that large curve coming down off of Hazard Avenue going south. I would think they'd go the other direction, but I'm not the
Well,
bus company.
they came in with the Connecticut Transit. Actually, they came in with a bus.
Yeah.
And they traveled the route
Oh,
several
okay.
times, and that seemed to be the best
It was.
flow to eliminate any traffic hazards or accidents. They like that route. They
Okay.
don't want to go back out into Elm Street, because as you know, in the morning, Elm Street kind of gets busy in that area.
Taking a left is harder.
Worse than, oh, it is?
The flow is
Yeah.
much better go out the south
South
side.
side. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I-
South on 91.
Yeah.
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 It's
That's
all
true, they
right-hand
do.
turns also, so.
Yeah.
I see they're doing
It's a
work.
lot easier.
Yeah, I just thinking of that, it seems like a longer way. I can understand that. Okay, close public hearing
It's the site
15,
plan.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
site plan 1564.
Okay, and there's a waiver.
Yeah, make a motion to waive the full submission requirements of section 9.10.2 because the commission finds that the information is not necessary in order to decide on the application's conformance with these regulations.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. This is also, all in favor of the waiver? Opposed? Unanimous, 700.
Make a motion to approve site plan 1564 for a site plan modification to designate area of a parking lot for commuter parking and construct one bus shelter at Enfield Square, 90 Elm Street, map 43, lot 16, Enfield Square LLC, applicant owner, with the 4 conditions. In a memo dated August 30th by Jose Geiner.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous, 700. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I think the shelter's a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
People waiting
and,
in the morning in the rain and stuff.
You have to have something, and that
It's a
was one of the
bonus.
issues with traffic safety. He wanted bollards around it, so if a car came
Oh,
down,
yeah.
it wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
get hurt. So it's safety of them, and I also suggest that they get a building permit, so they can meet the wind requirements. We really don't want to blow them down through the park.
No.
They're going to also apply for that.
Okay.
Okay?
Good
Yeah,
luck.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much. Have a good evening.
Site plan review 1565, approval for seasonal accessory agriculture activities, 173 Moody Road, an I-1 district, map 93, map 93, lot 12, Leland Penny, applicant Turf Products Company owner. Applicant, please come forward and explain your procedure. Jose, just a quick question. Does this need to go to wetlands, seeing as I see some water courses through there and a pond?
I'm not sure that there's any, you're not doing any regrading or any other, these are just going to be,
Well, I don't know if we have anything to do, because I know the regulations on
I'll run it by
farming.
Jim, I know, Jim, you know.
I
there's
just
been a-
know,
what's going on,
I
but
see
I'll-
that the cattle are up near the stream, and the goats and whatever else are also down near the stream. I don't know if there's a better place to put them.
Well, the agricultural activities that are on the property now are exempt.
Oh, I know they are, but.
As you can see from the aerial, it's all mowed, it's all grown crop fields. But I will, you know, we can run it by.
Yeah, I don't know if
Tim
they're
Luzak
running,
and if
they're running animals, and,
there's any
and
issues.
some of that, you can see a swale right through where it says the pasture for the cattle. And there's apparently a swale there that is carrying water off. And you also have, which doesn't bother me, because you got the hayride route through there. But you also have a swale where the pasture of the goats, and I didn't know, I know we don't regulate agricultural activities, but are we considering this an agricultural activity?
Well, certainly the you know, where you
Yeah, I
put
know
the
they
tents
do.
up, where you might be putting up any type of temporary structures. But I guess you could argue the pasture, if you're just going to have animals in pasture, that's typically what agricultural does. Horses and cows and goats go over streams and ditches, and
Well, I didn't know if we
it's
could-
usually exempt
if things-
from regulation.
It
This
would
this
be
just
a better spot. if
is
it's-
having people come and see, you know, allowing people to come in and view it. It's sort of like pick your own.
Well, I don't know whether, yeah, because I know
Allow
the
them to-
farm regulations are different, and I didn't know what we could do or not. I didn't know if you could suggest a different place for the pastures for the cattle or the goats.
Is this existing? Could I ask just a question? Is this already existing? Or you're renting already, this property?
Yes.
And you've been renting for a while?
Well, we started rent, we paid for the lease back in October of 2011,
Okay.
and the crops are in there now.
They're already in there?
Oh, they were in that
Okay.
place? Oh, I didn't
Yes.
realize
Right.
that.
I mean, this
Okay.
is sort of like pick your own, inviting people.
All right, yeah.
Agritourism,
Okay.
I guess
know when
that's
he
the
was in,
term
he was
for this,
talking about doing
is-
it, but I didn't realize he had done it.
Yeah.
Allowing people to
That's-
come in
I-
and view what's going on the farm, basically, and having some activities around it. And we don't have specific regulations. We've been treating them as an accessory use.
Yep.
Because there's certain elements like the corn mazes, and live entertainment.
Yeah, this
I
is
think
like-
it required a little bit more review than just
Mhm.
allowing it as an accessory use.
Okay.
There are some wet areas there, but the kind of activity it is, if it's that kind of weather, then we're
Not driving in it, yeah.
not. we're
Oh,
closed off.
I was thinking more of the contamination to the streams, but
There aren't streams as
we
such there.
can't control that, I don't know.
There are some drainage ditches, but
Okay,
They look like pretty much man-made. They follow certain contours there that
No,
are used to
I-
drain field.
What are you
Farming,
gonna be doing with
basically.
the slingshots?
right, there you go.
Those look like fun.
tomatoes. You shoot tomatoes at a open mouth pumpkin.
Oh, okay.
It's entertainment.
No pumpkin
Actually,
cannons?
I don't know if you've noticed the pamphlet that's,
Oh, no.
Yeah, that came out, that was, yeah.
that's
That's what's
on
printed.
Fletcher
Of
Road 2
continuing
years
ed,
ago.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, you're going to have a stage there with programs?
We have musicians that come in, it's usually a single,
Farmer Rick.
Yeah, I saw
one
it.
group is, one
Farmer Rick.
is a fellow by himself, and another is a fellow that plays and sings, and then he has a partner who does the background music. It's just the stage that we used last couple of years is like a 10 by 10 platform.
What would, there are residents in the area, what would be the time that this place you'd be using it? It says days and weekends, but doesn't give times.
We're anticipating daytime activities like 10 to 6,
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
yes. We would like to have,
Okay, and how about weekends and holidays?
it'd be the same,
10 to 6?
yes. If it worked
And-
out, we would like to offer just 2 or 3 Saturday nights. Weren't even thinking about charging, just invite people in to take a ride. We've done a flashlight corn maze in the evenings. Nothing very spectacular, but
Yeah,
just
Halloween
give
might
people
be.
a ride under the moon.
Okay.
You had groups, they be basically taken care of during that same time period.
The groups are younger school children, Cub Scouts, daycares, and so forth.
Well, how often would you have an evening affair?
Well, I'm not sure if it's just a thought that we might offer it maybe like 3 Saturday evenings in
October.
October.
And no live music during that time?
No, there probably would be.
There would be music?
Let's see, that's, you got residences in
I
there.
don't think there's any houses that close to there. Across the street, you got all those tractor trailers coming in and out, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, idling out there. I don't think the houses are that close, if I recall.
Well,
This is Turf Products, right?
There are 2 houses of.
Yeah, to the right by the railroad track, there's an old white house.
And Stan Lou side, but.
Yeah,
you know,
but this is across the street from where the tractor trailers are for McDonald's.
Well, it's on the same side.
No.
Same side, but don't they use it across the street too?
Exhibit 7 shows
The old
where,
West Baco.
Yeah, I see
Property.
them parked there and going in there at all times of night.
Exhibit 7 will, I printed out a GIS map.
Exhibit 7 shows it.
Shows the property in crosshatch, and then you have 147 and 155, I believe, are residences, and 156 is a residence, but it is tied to that farming operation. I think the farming operation that's at 164. I think 156 is the same owner. As is, I believe, one.
Well, it wouldn't probably be too bad if it's only three nights.
They do it for Halloween. They
Yeah.
have like the hay rides. I don't think you're going to have a hay ride there, are you? Or you just,
Yes, it was in here.
Well, we're
So
definitely, during
that
the
would have to be at
daytime, but
night. They do them at night, yeah.
We'd like to try something in the evenings, just as a service to the community as much as anything, but
What would be the end?
I'm
What
sorry?
would be the latest that you'd be operating?
10 o'clock,
And
Oh,
then the
10?
music would go to then?
yes.
10 o'clock.
'Cause I've been
That's
to,
okay.
I mean, I've gone to,
Windows are
I know in
closed at
Tolland,
that
they
time
have a
of year
farm,
and everything.
Coventry, they have a farm, a winery that has
Yeah, 10
two-person
o'clock.
band, lightly amplified, and you,
Yeah.
And if you're not right on top of it, you're not going to hear it.
So what we would
and
do in the
typically-
conditions is put October activities,
Yeah, no later
evening
than,
activities no later than 10 o'clock. How many you allow them? Or,
we'll just sit for Saturday evening. That's the only evening you're interested, right?
I think so for, you know.
So
if
Saturday-
things worked out, maybe another year,
Then you'd come back then.
Friday, Saturday, but.
so
right now-
then we could just put Saturday evenings in October, evening activities until 10 o'clock? Okay.
You started to say you talked to those people already?
The two widows, I've talked to both of them. They're widows of Chet and Stan Lusai, who used to own the property before Mr. Zatushin purchased it from them. One of them lives at 55, and that's the house closest to Turf Products, and the other one lives at
The other,
47, maybe.
yeah.
47?
I notice a place there, it says picnic tables. Does that mean food?
We hope, we used someone with a food license with like a hot dog cart a couple years ago. We're trying to secure that again.
Well, you'll have to make sure you go to North Central Health District. You'll need a permit.
If it would be somebody that would have a license through North Central.
Through North Central? All right.
If you want to put that as an existing, and if you want to put that as condition number 7, any food service will require the approval of North Central Health District.
Yes.
That way it's clear.
Okay, and I had a question, Jose. I saw in here that the applicant was referred to the Enfield Police and the Shaker Pines Fire Marshal. Did we get comments back from?
We didn't get anything back from the fire marshal. I did receive something, and I'll read it to you from Charles
chief is
Grasso
in the
today.
audience if you want him in.
I'm sorry it's not in your packets. It's a little hectic today. We have to get a couple agendas out, but I have reviewed the request for the hayride attraction on Moody Road and suggest the following. One, if the parking is in a field of grass area, the entrance and exit lane should be clearly marked with traffic cones and at a minimum be 11 feet wide. That's from the traffic safety officer. And then the exit lane should have a temporary stop sign for vehicles exiting onto Moody Road, so you might want to add those two as conditions also. And that's from Charles Grasso, dated Wednesday, September 5th.
So this is 9 conditions we're up to now.
Correct.
What was the width of that, 11?
11 foot, I'll get you a copy of this. Actually, you know what, I'll give you mine right here, because I can always print out another one.
And, I mean, the Shaker Pines Fire Chief is here. Did we have?
Yeah, that's right, he was gonna, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Jose.
I'm remembering, that he called me last week and said, I'm gonna attend the meeting, give my comments in person.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Charles Mixata. I'm the fire chief at Shaker Pines. And I wanted to come down. I met with Mr. Penny out at the place the other day. All of these corn mazes in the state are not covered by the fire safety code. So we have no jurisdiction over them. Some of my concerns were if people are walking, twisted ankle or fire or something. We met out there last Tuesday. We came up with kind of an emergency plan. He's leaving fire lanes open. He's leaving second ways for us to get in from behind Turf Products. He's been very cooperative with us. Again, we don't regulate this, but he's worked with us very closely, and we have a little plan in case there is any problems out there. And I will relay this to EMS and the police. We kind of gridded off the property, so if there's a problem in the corn maze, we can say the problem's in sector number 4, so everybody knows when they're responding out there where exactly the problem is.
Good. Okay, great.
So I just wanted to come down and relay that myself rather than just in the letter.
Great.
That's
Okay?
Thank very you. Good. Thank you for
Thanks.
doing that.
Thanks, Chief.
Sorry, I forgot it.
That's okay.
Remember, when I saw you, I said, we had a phone conversation last week.
Well, this is much better, I
Right.
think.
I said-
Thank you.
Any questions on?
And yeah, something in the back of my mind said, I know we have something from the fire marshal, but
Okay.
I didn't see it in the
Still in
file.
Yeah, I saw him sitting out there. I didn't know what
I
he was
recall
waiting
it was
for.
it was a phone conversation.
Jose, Are there any other farms in Enfield that has hay rides and strawberry picking or anything?
Not that I know of.
Not sure, did we approve something for, I think
They
we
used to have
approved something
strawberry, but
I think we had a corn maze at that new one, at the corner of.
yeah, you talked to us about that. I don't know.
I think we
I don't know.
I think we did.
didn't come
We
in.
had an approval.
Taylor
for that.
Road, but you talked to us about it, and I don't know if we approved it or not.
So I'm not,
Actually, they were
I think we had, I think there was
Another
an
maze.
I think they
There's a
they
maze
came up with
there?
plans.
It's a maze.
They're
though.
open.
Not
They're
a,
open, I think they were.
Not a hayride?
they did
It's a
get approval.
maze, no, it's
It
a
was an
corn
administrative
maze.
approval that you authorized.
Yeah, it was a corn
It was
maze.
just a simple corn maze, and I think you authorized it as an administrative approval.
They used to pick strawberries up there on the corner of
Well,
Washington.
pick your own is always allowed.
That's-
but no, my question, is there conditions already set like there that we can let this gentleman have the same conditions?
No, there were,
the first.
that was a much smaller scale operation, and.
But each situation
They
is
also
a
had
different set
plans
of
to do
conditions.
something bigger, and they would, and they know, and my discussions with them, before they even opened up the farm, they realized that if they go beyond, they were just doing a corn maze, so we allowed administrative approval for that, but if they go beyond that, they're gonna come back in and
I think there's only, how many conditions we up to? 9?
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really, to answer your question, this is really the first time we've had something at this scale come before us.
Okay, so if this gentleman finds that a certain hour doesn't work for him, he can come back in and we can change it and help him out. Okay,
Yep.
all right, thank you.
Yep. Always willing to work with the applicants.
Yep.
Okay, anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I appreciate your time.
Okay, then I'll close SPR 1565. I got that right.
Okay. I'll make a motion to waive the full submission requirements of section 9.10.2 because the commission finds that the information is not necessary in order to decide on the application's conformance with these regulations.
Second?
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous, 7-0-0.
I'll make a motion to approve SPR 1565 site plan approval for the seasonal accessory agricultural activities at 173 Moody Road in an I-1 district, map 93, lot 12, Leland Pinney applicant, Turf Products Corporation owner. This approval is subject to the conformance in the plan submitted as part of the record and the following 9 conditions.
Have you seen, or we'll go over the conditions with you, and I'll ask you at the end whether you have any problem with them.
And it would be in a memo dated by Jose Geiner on August 31st, 2012.
Do you have a copy of that, Jose, for him? Or do you have a copy of that, Mr. Penny?
Did you get a copy of my memo? We didn't have an email address for you, so we sent it by regular mail.
I think that's what I have here.
Okay, filling in item 3, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays, hours of operation, and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays, weekends, and holidays. All Saturdays in October till 10 p.m. Item 8 is concern North Central.
Health food.
I'm sorry, number 7. Yeah.
Would be, any food service requires the approval of North Central Health Service.
And
Number 9, 8 is the police department.
fire marshal comments?
Well, number 8 would be there's 2 conditions on
We don't
Sergeant
have,
Grasso's.
we don't have Sergeant Grasso's, so then he must,
Yeah, she can read them to you. They're
okay.
Clearly marked.
Number 8 would be if parking is in a field or grass area, the entrance and exit lanes shall be clearly marked with traffic cones at a minimum of 11 inches wide.
11 feet.
11 feet, sorry.
Big
And
difference.
number 9 is, it just wouldn't be. Number 9 is the exit lane should have a temporary stop sign for vehicles exiting onto Moody Road.
Okay.
Second.
Now, how about,
10, should we have like continual compliance with the fire department?
Right,
Just
number 10 is, it's compliance with the emergency plan.
planning, yeah.
That was
Compliance with
that was
emergency
mutually
plan.
agreed upon with the fire department.
Okay.
What was 9? Was that the stop sign?
Yeah,
That's the
temporary
stop
stop
sign,
sign
yeah.
at the end. Put up a temporary stop sign at the end of the drive.
Okay, you have any problem with those conditions?
No, sir.
Okay.
And it's right there in that thing I just handed you.
Okay.
Those are the two conditions.
Any further questions before I close, or Jose? Okay, then I'll close SPR 1565.
And, well, I had made mo-
I'm
I-
sorry, the
Motions
most,
are
yeah, I'm
already-
sorry.
I made the motion.
Okay. All right.
Now we have the
We're ready.
conditions.
Okay, all in favor of the motion with the conditions? This went too long on those. It's unanimous, 700.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you for, yeah, sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Kids should enjoy it.
That's the reason we do it, but signs on the property, you know, so that people know where we are. Is there any limits on regulations as far as that?
Jenny.
Speak with Jenny. Yeah, you can't have signs off premise. The
No,
property.
but, you know,
But on the property, you're allowed at least one freestanding sign.
Okay.
And banners. If
And
he-
certain banners, so you're allowed some temporary banners too.
Okay.
So I would check with Virginia Higley. She's going to be back in the office on Monday. She's out this week on vacation.
Okay, sounds like fun for people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. We have on to discuss the poultry regulations. I don't know if you want to continue that or you let it go until,
I think it was,
and by the,
We'll set up the meeting.
yeah.
I'm available.
and anyone else would like to please join in with us?
We'll put it out there.
Okay. Discussion of car show dates for the Enfield Mall.
Mr. LeBlanc was going to be here, but he called this afternoon. He had a personal issue that he had to attend to with
Okay.
at a hospital this evening, so he was going to try to come back, but basically he had come into the office. As you know, I guess while I was on vacation, you approved a one-day car show at the Enfield Square Mall. And I guess that was fairly successful. It went forward. The mall, Mr. LeBlanc would in conjunction with the mall, would like to be able to do these things more or less on a weekly basis, every Thursday night, to make it a weekly item, just to track people, you know, and have any proceeds that, I guess they'd still be fundraisers for charity, but to do it on a weekly basis. And I said, well, you know, you got your approval. Your approval was for one day. It didn't include. And it said that I could approve subsequent ones, but it was only as a one-year thing. So he basically would like to come back and get approval for a weekly activity. I'm not sure. Yeah, we might have given him some approval. Yeah, at one point.
Joe
I think-
stopped his.
Yeah.
Yeah, at one time, I'm not sure that they do it again. What he would like, and he understands that he needs to come in and get approval for a yearly thing. The only issue is, for this year, if he had to come in, he just wants to get approval to do it till October. And was wondering if there was no issues with the fire department or police department, if the commission would be willing to grant administrative approval for him to do these, because obviously if we wait another 2 weeks, it pretty much blows him out of the water for this year.
I had a question, because
You come
somebody,
back.
I wasn't here that night, but somebody asked for cones to be put up on the board,
We did, to block.
but I didn't see any.
Lori, I'm going to address that now, if
Oh.
I may. I attended, and it was a great show, very professionally run, but the cones, how we wanted it set up so we stopped traffic going from the east gate, I believe, to stop that traffic flow, they brought them in more towards the islands, so the traffic was flowing around. I stayed about an hour and a half, but there was absolutely no problem. So I think if we have to change that condition to do what they just did, there was no problem.
Why wouldn't be more on the traffic safety officer.
Yeah, but I was there about an hour and a half. I think I called you. It was a great show.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a classic car, but that's exactly what I was going to mention. Traffic flowed perfectly. There was no problems. And the way they set this up, there's no way you could have cut through this thing. It was set up perfectly, even though our condition read different for the cone.
Well, what Mr. Blank is, bottom line, is asking for this evening is that they will be coming in for next season to do it on a weekly basis and do a formal presentation for the
Well, it's up-
commission.
I don't know.
But they were
How-
asking if the commission would allow for me to approve a limited 1 month.
How about the mall?
Permit.
He was here. Are they in favor of?
Yeah, what about?
It was yeah, it was. It wasn't.
Angelina?
Angelina was the one who was handling that.
Yeah, but are they in favor of weekly?
Yes, he's working with Angelina.
Condition that mall's in, Charlie, they should.
I mean, they would have to have
Traffic,
permission,
yeah, it was, I haven't seen it that busy when I went by there. There was a
Angelina
lot
was
of
the one who
people.
was calling to find out what
Well,
needed to be done.
for how many months? How long?
It would be till till October, basically.
For just the rest
And
of the
that's
month?
why he said if he
Well, it
has to
might
come
be a
back
good
and do a formal
trial, 'cause if he
presentation, he
comes
might
in
as well
next
not do
year-
it.
This is a nice time of year to do this.
You know, and it may not be every Thursday. If it's bad weather, they're not going to have it. So it's not worth his while to come in and get formal approval for all 4.
I would say let's do it for them. I think we should do it for the month because then we can see how it works, and if there's any questions, we can
And I'll
address
make
them
it very
then.
clear, you know, there'll be an end date, and it has to follow all the,
Yeah, we are
all
doing
the,
this for next
any
year.
issues that the traffic safety or fire department
Yep.
may suggest,
That
may
way-
suggest changes,
Yeah.
and we'll do them on the fly also as a condition, but.
So are we going to give him specific dates?
1 month.
It'll be Thursday nights.
Thursday nights
Nights.
until,
And I believe all he was asking, I don't want to tie him down, but he just to the end of
Well, let's
September.
us tie him down.
You want to just do it to the end of September, until
End of
October, and then
September.
I think
it'd be good to be
that'll give him.
explicit about it.
Personally, give them to the first week of October or
Right.
whatever. I mean, I would just, there's only
weeks.
3
Give 'em
weeks.
4
Yeah,
weeks.
give them 4 weeks.
Okay.
Because
Give
give
him
them
4
some
weeks, and then
weather.
he can come back for the next season and get a
Yeah.
get a
Yeah, for
full
next
approval.
season. This gives us a trial to see how it operates.
Sometimes, though, they use a rain date on these, Charlie, so I don't know if he would do it on Friday, and if we tell him just Thursday, that's going to make a problem?
I don't know if the mall would want. I mean,
Right.
that Friday gets busy.
Busy for the
So then he'd have to go to the mall and bring us a letter or something from Angelina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, somebody at the mall.
Because a lot of times they have a rain date, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'll send you
Most of
copies
those
of my
cruise nights have-
approval.
There's one that
letter.
night somewhere around in the area
That's-
anyways.
yeah.
Every night has one.
I don't think it was intent that if he didn't mention anything. He said he would cancel it if there was raining. But so it just takes too much effort because those people go on Friday night cruise nights elsewhere. So
The
it's
elsewhere, usually.
tough to reschedule a rain date.
Okay, so he has until 4 weeks.
Till,
Four
yeah, or
Thursdays.
do you want to extend it to the first week of October? Well, it'll be 4 weeks because you already missed today. So okay, I'll set a date from till October,
Okay.
whatever the first Thursday of October
Do we need
is.
to vote on that?
Yeah, we could.
All in favor of the proposal? Opposed? It's unanimous. Anything further?
You make it.
Yeah.
It's your thing.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We stand adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We can go watch.
We got a lot done in It's all right.